Hey there, folks. So Colombia's decided it doesn't want to sell coal to Israel anymore. Big move, right? It's about what's happening in Gaza. You know, the ongoing conflict that seems to always be simmering. Colombia's saying, hold up, Israel, your actions have consequences. And those consequences are no more cheap Colombian coal for you. This isn't just some symbolic gesture either. We're talking about a huge chunk of Israel's coal supply gone. Now, this whole thing shines a light on another relationship, one that's been brewing for a while, Azerbaijan and Israel. They're getting cozy, and it's all about oil. Let's rewind to the early 1990s. The Soviet Union just went kaput. Azerbaijan, newly free, is looking for friends. Enter Israel, stage left, with a handshake and a mazel tov on the independence thing. They hit it off. Israel's one of the first to say, hey Azerbaijan, we officially recognize you as a country. Embassies pop up, diplomats schmooze, and boom, a friendship is born. And it's not just small talk and pleasantries. These two have common interests, particularly when it comes to, shall we say, keeping an eye on a certain neighbor they both have, Iran. This friendship wasn't built on smiles and handshakes alone, folks. There were some big concrete moments that solidified this bond. First up, the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan pipeline, completed in 2006. A pipeline? Sounds boring, right? Wrong. This thing was huge. It gave Israel direct access to Azerbaijani oil, bypassing all sorts of geopolitical headaches. Then there's the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh war, remember that? Nasty business. Azerbaijan won, and guess who was there lending a helping hand? Or should we say a helping drone? That's right, Israel. Military tech, especially those fancy Israeli drones, played a big role. And as if to make things official, Azerbaijan opened an embassy in Tel Aviv in 2023. Talk about taking things to the next level. So, while Colombia's turning off the coal tap, Azerbaijan's cranking up the oil spigot. And we're not talking about a trickle here, folks. We're talking about a gusher. The numbers don't lie. Azerbaijan's oil exports to Israel have gone through the roof, especially this year. It's a win-win, at least economically. Israel needs energy, and boy does Azerbaijan have energy to spare. It's a match made in, well, you know. Section 5. Why this alliance matters. Now, why should you care about two countries thousands of miles away buddying up? Well, for starters, it's a big geopolitical shift. Israel, facing criticism from many corners of the world, finds a staunch ally in Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan, looking to boost its own standing on the world stage, sees Israel as a valuable partner. But it's bigger than just those two. This alliance sends ripples throughout the entire region. Iran, already on edge, is watching this whole thing like a hawk. They see Israel and Azerbaijan getting chummy, and they don't like it one bit. Section 6. The ethics of oil and conflict. Here's where things get messy, folks. Because while this whole oil deal might make economic sense, it raises some serious ethical questions. Let's be blunt. Israel's using that Azerbaijani oil to, among other things, fuel its military operations. Operations that, let's just say, haven't exactly been met with universal praise. So, is Azerbaijan okay with its oil being used this way? Are they okay with potentially fueling a conflict that's caused so much suffering? These are questions Azerbaijan has to grapple with, and so do we. Section 7. The future, more oil, more tension? So what's next for this unlikely duo? Well, if current trends are anything to go by, we can expect more oil, more cooperation, and probably more tension with Iran. This alliance has the potential to reshape the entire region. It could lead to greater stability, or it could blow up in everyone's faces. And let's not forget about Colombia. Their decision to cut off coal exports to Israel might be a drop in the bucket compared to the oil flowing from Azerbaijan, but it's a sign that the world is watching, and some countries are willing to take a stand. Section 8. Colombia's stance, a different path. Colombia's coal ban is more than just a blip on the radar. It's a bold statement, a refusal to stay silent in the face of what they see as injustice. They're saying, We may need the money from coal exports, but some things are more important than profit. It's a risky move, sure, but it's also a principled one, and it highlights the stark contrast between Colombia's approach and Azerbaijan's. Two countries, both facing their own internal challenges, both making choices on the world stage. One choosing principle over profit, the other choosing strategic partnership over potential ethical dilemmas. Section 9. The Global Stage: Trade, Morality and Power Politics. So there you have it, folks. A tangled web of oil, alliances and ethical quandaries. This whole situation is a microcosm of global politics, a messy cocktail of economic interests, moral obligations and strategic calculations. It shows that the world is rarely black and white. There are shades of grey everywhere you look, and sometimes the toughest choices are the ones where there's no easy answer, just a bunch of difficult questions. And on that cheery note, I'll see you next week.